WRAL Daily Download. I'm Grace Holland. Medical tests, treatments, or medications denied by health insurance. It can be frustrating and expensive. It was for one man from our area, but then 5 on Your Side stepped in and helped get his surgery approved. WRAL 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur joins me now with tips to keep you from paying out of pocket. Keely, thanks for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So, how did you meet Pete Kenny?
So when I saw that you were going to ask me this question, it's kind of a long story, if I'm being honest. He is a former NC State worker who worked in Poe Hall, which is another story I've worked on extensively. And I knew him through that. I knew him through a completely separate investigation. And when he ran into this issue of having a claim denied, he knew who to contact.
Right, which is good to have those sources for him and for us to maintain those contacts so we can help people as reporters. So what was the procedure that his doctor recommended and what kind of happened there?
So Pete Kenny is a kind of like a handyman, and he uses his body all the time for that work. He was having issues. I think he had a limp and just a lot of pain. He went and got an MRI. It showed that he had a torn meniscus, and his surgeon recommended that he get a full knee replacement. And he, was trying to avoid having to get surgery, but his doctor said, look, based off the scan, you need this.
Right. And so when he, reached out to his insurance to get that approved, what was that conversation? What did he hear back from them?
So he had already made the appointment, scheduled the surgery date, and then he received a phone call from his surgery center saying, we just heard back from your insurer. You cannot get this surgery until you complete 6 physical therapy sessions. But until you do that, this claim is denied.
Okay. And so did he go through with those physical therapy sessions? What happened then?
So he reached out to me after that because he was kind of shocked. And he was planning on going to get the physical therapy because he really felt like he had no choice. But he told me that it was really painful and that the physical therapist on the first day said, that none of this is going to help you. You have the torn meniscus, but we'll just do it anyway. And he went through about 4 sessions or so until I was able to get involved and help him.
Okay, let's take a quick break right there, and we'll be right back. Keely, as you found out about the situation that Pete Kenny was in, how often did you learn that health insurance companies deny claims like this?
I think there's a statistic. It's about like 1 in 5 health insurance claims are denied. So if this hasn't happened to you, it's happened to somebody that you're probably standing right next to. And so this is a common thing. And there was a pretty good blueprint that we try to give people to fight against it. A lot of times in 5 on Your Side, we're intervening and trying to help people get medical procedures or get their bills paid. And usually by just speaking up and kind of being the squeaky wheel, it usually is resolved, but it's really tricky to navigate.
Yeah. And so in Mr. Kenny's case, when he called you and told you what was going on, what was the first thing you told him to do?
So I always try to give kind of the broad advice that I would give to anybody, and then from there kind of tailor it to whatever we need to do to get this particular person's issue resolved. So the one thing I want anyone to do who's in this boat, whether you received, we can talk about bills, but in the case where you need a procedure, you need something done and it's getting denied, request a denial letter, a copy of that letter. You're legally able to get that, and it will show why you're being denied coverage. Then ask the doctor to request a peer-to-peer review. That's where your doctor gets on the phone with the insurance company, your health insurance company, and explains why this is necessary. And you want as much documentation as possible, your own scans, and then maybe even like medical studies showing why something like this would be a valid procedure to get. And then we're lucky in the state of North Carolina, we have the Department of Insurance, and there's a part of that entity in the state where you can go to them and they can try to advocate on your behalf as well. So we kind of had Pete do all of that. I emailed Blue Cross Blue Shield, his insurer, and I think the next day he got the surgery approved. So he didn't have to do the 6 physical therapy sessions, only 4. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish it didn't take a television station or journalists emailing. I wish the other steps just were the silver bullet. But in this case, I think everything he did plus me emailing made the difference.
Right. And I'm sure he's very grateful. Has he been able to have that surgery yet?
Yeah, he had it. I spoke to him after the fact. He said it was a difficult recovery, but he feels like he's getting back to normal, and he is really grateful for our help, but also just wants anyone in this situation to fight and be, not take no for an answer. He really needed the surgery, and he's better for having it.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. If someone was going the Department of Insurance route, is there like a timeline for how long that might take?
Yeah, so that's the other thing with medical procedures. I'm sure the moment that you decide you're getting it, you probably want it sooner than later. And that's the thing with the DOI. They will help you, but they will caution anyone that this is going to take at least 30 days to get any movement on. So it can be a slow process, but people just need to be really organized, have their facts and figures. And I feel like a lot of doctors are dealing with this where then they're recommending something to their patient and then their insurance is denying that. And so I think doctors are very savvy at kind of going to bat for their patients.
All right. Is there anything else people should know about this?
Just on the side of the bills. So
Yes.
if you get a bill, like you get your procedure done and you get a bill and it's way higher, I cannot tell you, Grace, the number. We've saved people over $1 million in 5 on Your Side since I started like 3 years ago. The majority of that money is from me resolving incorrect medical bills. So like bills that are hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what they should be. So really, really look at that bill and fight. If you think that you should have more coverage than what they're telling you have, fight. And hopefully it will get reduced. I've certainly seen a lot of success in that arena.
Right. Thank you so much, Keely. We appreciate it. And thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and for making us part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. That's a daily email with Triangle news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.